so say thank you for France for that. It was the French who grounded the aircraft, but we'll go over that in a bit. First conceived in 1955, supersonic travel. Okay. So I was just going through they made 20 Concordes altogether, 10 in the UK, 10 in France. The French ones went to Air France, the British ones ended up with BA, so all BA ones were made at Filton. They made a prototype in each country, pre-production aircraft in the UK, pre-production aircraft in France, then they started the production series of aircraft. The first one was kept back by the manufacturers, which is fairly standard, so they got something to play with, they won't do any modifications. So for example, the flight deck door on the way in, after 9/11, they had to armour the doors so nobody could get in. That was tested on the one at Bristol. Then they started the production series of aircraft. This was the fourth one made, so she's the oldest aircraft the British Airways operated. She wasn't the first one into service, that was Alpha Alpha, which was the next one off the British production lines. So this is serial number 204. And the next one, Alpha Alpha, was 206. So the British ones are even numbers, the French ones are odd numbers on the serial number there. They were made in components and flown there. So this aircraft, a bit of history about this aeroplane. She first flew in February 1975, and at that time there was no commercial flights, obviously, because commercial flights hadn't started. So they're still doing certification stuff. The production aircraft is a very different aeroplane to the prototypes, the pre-production aircraft. So what she spent a time out in the Far East doing route proving trials, flew from Mumbai, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur and Melbourne, and then she came back to the UK and started doing route proving trials across the Atlantic. And this is where it gets exciting for nerds like me. Between August the 22nd, 1975 and the middle of September 1975, she started doing flights every day, literally 7 days a week, backwards and forwards across the Atlantic. The aim of that exercise was at least one day to cross the Atlantic 4 times. She succeeded that. September the 1st, 6th and 7th, 1975, this aeroplane crossed the Atlantic 4 times. Concorde, I believe, is the only aircraft capable of doing that. She's not the fastest aircraft across the Atlantic, that was the Lockheed SR-71, 1 hour 52. This Concorde's fastest 2 hour 52. But the SR-71 had a flight crew of 2. It was refueled several times, 2 or 3 times at least in that journey. So Concorde, you guys could be on Concorde dressed exactly as you are now, drinking a glass of champagne. Anybody else at that height is in a pressure suit and bone dome there. That's the big thing to remember there. So she joined BA in February 76, and she was, it says, the oldest Concorde for BA. The first one to serve BA Alpha Alpha flew from London to Bahrain and back into January 1976, and it was going to be the first leg of London, Bahrain, Singapore, Australia. That was the planned route. They ended up, they got Singapore working, they didn't get to Australia. If you see a Concorde, in a production Concorde, they were all in British Airways or Air France code.